Buenos dias, compas. It's been a while, you feel me? But I'm trying to make these videos a little bit more uh I don't want to say scarce, but at least, I feel like there's a lot that I do cover in these videos and it's enough information to sustain the next couple of days and whatnot. Things that I'm kind of looking at, just stuff like that, right? But today I'm gonna do my absolute best to try to make this as short as possible. All right. So if I end up at a 5 minute video, awesome. If I end up at a 10, I'm cool. But if I end up at a 40, I mean, sorry y'all, but this is one of those videos where you don't have to look. All right. So you can just play this off in the background. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really gonna be showing anything. I'm just gonna be more talking and just reading exactly what I'm putting. All right. Or what I put off inside the Discord, and if y'all ever want to go and actually read this and actually see the actual information and see the links that I have them inside right here for y'all inside of the Discord. All right, so let me go ahead and pull this up. Working off of two laptops right now. All right, y'all. So bear with your boy, bear with me. All right, but all this information is gonna be under Shares Plays. I'm gonna be reading off just pretty much everything that I have listed here. All right, and why I think electric and uranium is the way to go right now. All right. I'm talking picks and shovels. I've cited sources, not just from, people's opinions online, but actual context, such as like the White House, the Department of Energy, Department of War, things like that, things that are actually in front of our eyes. We just can't do the research and find it. I got all that here for y'all. This is cited stuff. We can see what they're actually doing, what direction they're headed on, and why we're going after what we're going after. You feel me? So, I mean, give y'all sources, I give y'all charts, I highlight the certain information that, we should be looking at and whatnot. So that's pretty much how we're kind of going about today. All right. So, like I said, y'all don't actually have to watch this. Y'all can go and read this on your own. If you want to kind of just follow along, more than welcome to as well. All right. You kind of just want to, uh, have something to look at. All right. But, you can see my obvious investments, what I'm doing, what I'm putting my money in. You know, this is not anything light. All right, this shows you exactly how much I actually believe in these companies, why I believe in them, and that's pretty much what this video is going over. Why I believe in investing this much money, this much of my own capital into this. All right, so look at that, SMR. I'm putting up my own money for this stuff. All right, so this is all pre-market right now. Like this is stuff that I've already invested in. All right, so that should let y'all know exactly, my conviction. If this doesn't display a steadfast conviction, then I don't know what does. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, maybe you just got a hard time wrapping your head around the truth, and that's a pill for you to swallow. You know what I'm saying? That's not my job for here to just force the medication down. You know what I'm saying? It's whether you take the red pill or the blue pill, baby. All right, but enough of that. Um, let's go ahead and let's fucking. Ooh, did not mean to say that. Trying to watch my language. All right. First and foremost, we're talking uranium, uranium and electric. Now, why uranium and electric? All right. I'll go over uranium for the most part and why we're going electric. All right. The two stocks that I'm heavily invested in when it comes to uranium, that's URG, and we're talking SMR. Okay. Now, why URG? Okay. So I kind of went over a little bit on my previous video about the big deal with uranium right now. Okay. Where it's headed. I guess we'll kind of go over energy first. Okay. So that way we can understand why uranium is such a big deal right now. So we have, and this is just on my most recent post inside of the Discord under Share Plays. All right, so that way you can go and see the comparisons, read up on it. You got your your own view on my take, right? Okay, so I'm gonna be reading this. All right. So Clean Spark is a leveraging. First and foremost, the amount of consumption and energy usage that these data centers are utilizing is completely off the grids, literally off the grids. All right, us as humans, this is why this channel is called, channel 404, human error. It's actually 404 error, but this is why I call this channel 404 human error. All right, because there are things that we make mistakes on, the market makes mistakes on, whether it's in the trading, whether it's in society, whether it's in the market, over leverage these banks institutions, overcompensate or don't actually, uh, just mistakes that we make as an entirety as a society. All right. Us as humans, we did not calculate, or I don't even know how we could even predict this situation and this problem that we would have in the future if we didn't know, exactly what we needed, because that's why we're certain currently creating. So when it comes to these data centers and the AI usage, we don't have the energy to sustain this amount of energy, right? We only made electric grids for human consumption, which is why we have electric grids all across, right? We have like a large centralized system delivering electricity over a vast distances from centralized power plants, such as like coal, natural gas, nuclear, hydro, to end consumers and your local electric plant, right? We did that for human consumption. The amount of energy that is having to be displaced inside of these actual to actually sustain AI, like I said, is off the grid. So everything that we have built right now, it's we need more than that, dog. We need more than that. That is not enough. We need more energy. All right. So all this money that we have dumped into um, AI, to these data centers, so things such as like Nvidia, AVGO, Marvell, all this AI for like Meta, Apple, everything, all this AI that we are currently using. All right, I'm pretty sure recently a company just got billed $500 million for a monthly bill that they did not limit their employees on using AI. So now they got a bill. They got a $500 million bill because that's how much energy is being used. All right. And now it's starting to spread across on how much AI is actually costing us. All right. Somebody has to pick up the bill. Someone has to foot it. Whether it's the consumers, which is us, I pay for AI, or whether it's these companies. But the money has to come from somewhere. All right. So all this money that we've dumped into this, all right, these rare earth minerals to get everything built for these semiconductor chips, so that way they could power the AI, to import export, to building these data centers, to getting the data centers up and running. Now that everything is up and running, now we're seeing the bill. Here's the bill. Here's the first bill. You got to pay this now. And everyone's looking at the bill like, damn, that thing's expensive. It's like building a Ferrari, not knowing you're building a Ferrari, and seeing how much gas it consumes that quick, and the type of gas that you need to operate such a beautiful work of art. That's pretty much what's happening right now. All right. So with that being said, now these companies have to find a solution to this energy cost. How the hell are we going to bring this down? It takes a lot to cool it down. It takes a lot to run and operate. We don't even have the infrastructure built for this. How are we going to solve this problem? All right. Now that they've dumped billions and trillions of dollars into this energy, into this industry, into this sector, you think these people are interested in losing their investments? No. Hell no. Okay. So now you have to think like them. What is the solution to this problem? Because now this world is so dependent on this infrastructure, you cannot go a day without seeing AI bots, chat GPT, AI inside healthcare, AI inside trading, AI inside of uh, even therapists. You know, you're using AI to like for therapists for research inside different companies. Like I said, that company just got a $500 million bill. Like people are using AI every day now. It's interwoven into the fabrics of our infrastructure now. It is now an actual support beam. Okay, so there's no reversing it at this point. We got too much of the good life now at this point. It's just something that we got to deal with. So, with that being said, now we have to figure out the solution for this, okay? They have to start looking elsewhere because obviously we don't have the infrastructure and it costs. I'm pretty sure the cost of that. I don't know the cost. Okay, if you want to do that research, be my guest. But I'll tell you this much right now: they're not even looking in that direction. All right, to build more electric plants, to take up more land. All right, no, but people should be. I'm not even gonna say should be. All right, because I'm not. You're a financial advisor. As you saw that disclaimer, do what you want. All right, I'm doing what I'm doing, educating y'all, and nothing else. Okay, but what if I had $1 million right now? What I would be investing in right now would be land and the picks and shovels, the things that no one is interested in buying. Okay, because everyone's still wanting to buy Nvidia, wanting to buy these semiconductors, these data centers. I hit my lick down at the bottom. I told y'all plenty of plays that were gonna pop because of the way the world was structured and the direction that it was going. Okay, when you can read into the policies, when you can read, and this is what I'm saying, all these sites that I have posted on the Discord, they're all over the Discord. Go look, and you can see the direction that they're headed in, the goals that they're trying to accomplish, the things, the problems, the issues. It's all right there in front of us. You just got to read. That's why I always encourage everyone to do your own research. Okay. So I hit my lick on the way up, took my money, I got it, and now I'm flipping it, rolling it over into picks and shovels, okay? Because data centers, AI, it's all useless if we cannot keep it running. A Ferrari is useless if it got no gas, if it got no oil to run on. You can't drive it. You could crank it as much as you want, it ain't gonna work. All right, AI will remain where it's at, and everyone's gonna have to be paying a high bill, which no one wants. Or we start implementing and rolling out a different structure. Okay. Now, where is this leading to? This is leading to CleanSpark. Okay. A company that I'm looking into, that I have already invested. I just disclosed my positions pre-market. All right. So CleanSpark, like I said, I'm reading this. Okay. CleanSpark is leveraging its expertise in energy, software, and microgrid technology to develop and operate AI-focused data centers. These data centers are designed to host and support artificial intelligent workloads with high efficiency and scalability. Okay, by integrating advanced energy management solutions, CleanSpark aims to optimize power usage, reduce operational costs, and improve sustainability for AI data center operations. This initiative positions CleanSpark at the intersection of clean energy technology and the growing demand for AI infrastructure. Okay, what is this pretty much saying? Okay, I'm going to show you the differences, and you can go look in the Discord. This is one of those times where if you want to look and follow along, this is definitely that. Okay, for the scale and scope, okay, the differences. An electric grid, which is a large centralized system delivering electricity over vast distances from centralized power plants like coal, natural gas, nuclear, hydro, and to end consumers. A microgrid, which is CleanSpark, okay? A smaller localized network that can operate independently or connected to the main grid. It serves as a limited area such as the campus, community, or facility. Okay. CleanSpark has a bunch of these microgrids, and instead of going and investing their money into building some more grids, why don't we just invest into a company that already has these grids? Now, why do they have these grids? Because they're bit mining companies. That CleanSpark is a Bitcoin mining company. All right, it has the infrastructure, it has the space, it has the land, it has everything that we possibly need to run. And not only that, when the rest of the power grids go off, the main centralized grids go off, they're still operating. They're still up and running. Okay? That's if that doesn't sell you enough on it already, then I don't know what will. Okay? Now, the control and independence. An electric grid controlled centrally by utility companies. If the main grid goes down, I just went over this, customers typically lose power. Microgrid has the ability to operate autonomously, island mode, during grid outages and disturbances, maintaining power continuity for its users. All right. Energy sources. The electric grid most reliant on large-scale, often fossil fuels-based generation plants. The microgrid can integrate diverse and distributed energy resources like solar panels, wind turbines, energy storage such as batteries, or even generators, optimizing renewable usage. Okay, solar panels, that's the big part of it, right? Now it's just a matter of we could actually get the power from it because it requires a lot of power. It's a lot of solar panels. Fine by me. I shout out Tezzy, mi compa, mi hermano. All right, resilience and reliability. The electric grid is vulnerable to large-scale outages affecting many customers simultaneously. And if you're somebody, big pockets, that's the last thing that you want, right? So the microgrid enhances local resilience by providing independent private-owned companies. They don't want to disclose certain things, their financials, things like that. They'll go through microgrids instead of centralized, okay? Reliable power despite external grid failures, okay? Energy management and efficiency. Electric grids are less dynamic and slower to respond to local changes in supply or demand. For the microgrids, they use advanced energy management system to optimize energy production, consumption, and storage in real time at local level, meaning you get your data live right there. All right. CleanSpark, consolidating for quite some time. When it first IPO'd, even before it shot up all the way to 150. When it IPO'd, we had that short little spike. You know what I'm saying? And just this whole entire time, ever since 2020, just been consolidating, all right? We're at a crucial level right now at like 18. We get above that, we get to 22. We get above that, we head up towards 33. After 33, I mean, I don't really got it charted, but you guys can pretty much see the picture, all right? Go ahead and click on that chart and Discord. That way you can pretty much see, all right? I'm not going to go back and forth with this video. Now, with that being said, okay, in order to provide the electricity for that, we go towards energy. We go towards electric, okay? The top competitor, the one that is best suited for this whole problem, is CleanSpark, in my opinion. You know, other people can say otherwise. Now, another way of going about this is uranium. And it's no coincidence, okay, on why we're after uranium. Okay, I'm about to wrap it up here. I'm going to read this. This part of information is all about the U.S. Section 232 policy, okay? And I have it cited, the government website, different sites, all right? So you can go and look this stuff up and read for yourself on the Department of Energy and the White House and all this actual credible knowledge, okay? So this is my bias. This is the message before CLSK that I just posted for CleanSpark, okay? My bias behind URG and SMR, okay? If you don't know about URG or SMR, go to my previous video, has uranium on it. All right, that's the name of the episode. I believe it's episode 61, where I'm talking about uranium in that one, okay? And these companies and why I like them, okay? That's more from a standpoint what those companies are doing. But now this is from why I started looking into uranium, okay? And this is all because of the U.S. Section 232 policy, okay? Reading again. U.S. Section 232 policy has been prioritized after Trump's investigation. I'm telling y'all right now that this is why we went over there to Iran besides oil. All the bombing on their uranium sites tells me that they probably struck nuclear gold and big two. Now, did they? We don't know. That information is not disclosed. But if you go and you look at the top 5 uranium, even top 10, it's Russia, China, U.S. Okay, their sense, Iran is sense compared to, it's sense to the dollar on what we hold, right? When it comes to uranium. So them starting to create reserves for this uranium and why it's such an issue has me wondering, right? So Trump initiated this investigation back in January, got the results, everything, and we went to war in February. We've been going back and forth about oil these last past couple of months, and y'all have known me. I have literally sat here and gone on about the war with oil. But now that we're this close, like, to finalizing the deal, every time, go and look back, it's always about uranium. No, they can't own the nuclear weapon. Yes, nuclear weapons is bad. We don't want nobody to get nuked, and we don't want anyone else to have nukes, all right? That's a big thing. But the amount of uranium, too, that, like, uranium is such a big deal. And let me tell you why. Well, I already kind of explained in the last video, but to summarize all that, right? Uranium is going to be used for these small modular reactors. SMR, NuScale. They're already ahead of the rest of the game. While the rest of the companies are trying to catch up to what NuScale has already established for themselves as a company, these companies are trying to get the same credibility, licenses to manufacture, produce, all that stuff. Okay? They're ahead of the game. And these small modular reactors are going to be used to be put at the side of these data centers instead of building nuclear plants, all right? The actual plants that produce the type of energy that is needed for these data centers to utilize. They're putting these small modular reactors that's going to require a small dosage of uranium. Instead of the big nuclear plant that you see inside The Simpsons, it's like reduced down to, like, I don't know the exact size, all right, or dimensions, but the best way I could put it is like a Tesla battery bank inside your garage. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like hooked up on the side of your house to charge your car. That's pretty much what you could actually have, like a visual picture. It's not the exact representation, but I'm giving y'all an example, okay? It's like putting that on the house so that way you could power the rest of your house. That's like the scalability from the big nuclear plant to a small modular reactor, all right? Is it actual size? No, I don't know. But with that uranium and the amount of uranium that they're having to use for that will power, and they found a way to pretty much keep recycling it until all the uranium is burnt and spent out, okay? Because in order to use HALEU, which is going to be used to power a lot of these small modular reactors, which is high, say, low enriched uranium, it only comes from Russia. They found a way to pretty much utilize the uranium to pretty much keep recycling, so that way you can keep using the HALEU, and pretty much you need uranium to pretty much activate. We're going into science now, all right? You're pretty much using, like, you get a piece of HALEU, throw it into this uranium, and it keeps the HALEU's life. It expands its life cycle, okay? And so pretty much you pretty much just recycling. You're getting more uranium, dumping it in, so that way you can pretty much keep the energy rotating and being recycled, okay? Not a physicist either, all right, folks? I'm just do a lot of research, all right? So if I'm butchering some of this, forgive me. But I at least understand the concept, okay? And that's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. So that's the big deal around uranium, all right? For this implementation for uranium, all right? I'm going to read to y'all now exactly the rest of this now, all right? Now that y'all understand how uranium can play a part into this, okay? And why it's such a big deal. Section 232 refers to the provision in the Trade Expansion Act of 1962 that allows the U.S. president to impose tariffs or quotas on imports in the Department of Commerce finds that these imports threaten national security. Policy targets ensuring U.S. national security by protecting and revitalizing the domestic uranium energy industry, deemed critical for energy and defense. Okay? Now here's the implementation of uranium. The uranium focus on the uranium focus Section 232 investigation was initiated to address the perceived risk of reliance on foreign uranium supply, particularly from countries considered geopolitical competitors. And as a result, the U.S. imposed quotas or limits on foreign uranium imports to protect domestic producers, which is us, companies like URG, NuScale. Now, we all know Trump is a big advocate for everything being American now. Okay? He wants American production. Go buy Dell, go buy Intel, go buy American companies. If you are not dealing with American companies, you cannot do business with America. We are the number one world's consumers. That's what he's saying. Now, uranium domestic producers, URG, one of the biggest companies out there that has the best, not the best. This is all my opinion, okay? Either way, when uranium takes off, it takes off. Right now, it's moving on the cents. It doesn't move like that, but when it moves, good luck trying to catch up, okay? So, to continue, the policy also encourages domestic uranium production by supporting mining, enrichment, and fuel fabrication within the U.S. URG, NuScale. Okay? A key effect has been, LU, which is Centrus. Okay? They own the only licensing to manufacture HALEU in all of America. The only company. That's it. So they're going to be getting a lot of money, and they're going to be going to feedstock supply like URG, okay? Because they need the uranium to keep the HALEU's life cycle, okay? So a key effect has been to create a supply deficit in the U.S. uranium market. A less foreign uranium is available to utilities and industries reliant on nuclear fuel. This supply squeeze has pushed uranium prices upward, benefiting domestic producers. I say this twice because I need y'all to understand. Through higher spot prices and increased mining activity. It has also attracted investment interest in U.S. uranium companies. And prompted utility companies to secure domestic uranium supply contracts. I feel like I should just be saying all this twice. Now, for the strategic and economic significance, right? The policy is part of a broader U.S. strategy to enhance energy security, reduce foreign dependency. We are trying to reduce Iran from having uranium. We're finally in talks with China. We're going over there. We're talking. We're going to have another meeting with them back in August, I believe. All right? And revive the domestic nuclear sector. It aligns with government efforts to back nuclear energy as important component of clean energy and national security. All right? From here, this is where I pretty much give my own take, okay? And I'll read it for y'all, just so that way you guys don't have to do so much reading, okay? If I'm being honest, I think the Middle East struck nuclear gold and have huge deposits. It's on record of what we have been bombing. It has a lot to do with their mining sites as well, okay? Not just their oil sites, but their mining sites as well, okay? Without these rare earth minerals and all this tech is useless. If we don't have the minerals or energy to supply, then we're sitting ducks. If there's anything about mankind that I've learned, it's this. We refuse to sit still and not evolve. Okay? We refuse to sit still and not evolve. When have you ever known mankind to not do anything in its power to evolve, to advance? Never. That's why I'm sitting in a hotel 26 stories high with a beautiful city view talking to you, beautiful people. Based off of all this energy that we are using, it is getting ridiculous in such a beautiful way. They say this is the worst time to be alive. I say it's the best. I'm not trying to hunt, trying to find some cave to live in. I don't got to hunt for my food. I come home every single day, living the sweet life of Zach and Cody. Okay? I live out of hotels, man. Okay? I'm living the dream, like Morgan Wallen says. It's two sides to that coin. So, especially America, to continue, especially America. This investigation opened by our president spotted our weaknesses, and that is why everyone is trying our hand because of our DOW, Department of War, is limited without these resources. Either we burn through everything and then we don't have the resources to produce more weapons of mass destruction, or we act now and let the war begin while we're still in control to ensure that we don't lose control. Okay? And all that is done by Iran having to sign this deal about uranium. Y'all notice it's not fully about oil. Everyone knows the Hormuz is open. It's agreed to about everything on both parties except ... uranium. We've come to agreements on a lot of things, but the last thing that we cannot agree on is the uranium aspect of these deals. Okay? This is the definite this is the one definite that we cannot agree on. So I'm still going to make my video. Okay, there you go. Okay, down below, I have cited sources for you to go click on and do your own reading. Okay, and there's plenty more, but I didn't want to load you guys up on nothing but sources, okay? Now, this is the part where you can go and you can actually pull it up. That way you can kind of see the pictures, but if you want to do that on the Discord, just go do it on the Discord on your own then. But I'm going to pull it up for y'all, okay? Let me see, where is the Discord? There it is. Beautiful. Okay. So here are the sources for y'all. And here are the pictures, right? So the parts that I have highlighted. And the energy sector relies on critical minerals such as cobalt, nickel, uranium. I can't even pronounce that, all right? Like I said, I'm not no physicist, nuclear physicist, all right? For battery storage, nuclear fuel, generators, and electric vehicle motors, okay? Next picture. I have highlighted. This is all from the White House. They're telling you what they're doing. No one just knows where to look. No one knows how to read. You want to hide something from a man? Put it in a book. The secretary found that the United States is too reliant on foreign sources of PCMDPs. All right. Now, what exactly is that? I don't have it memorized at the top of my head. Okay. But let's go back and I can tell you exactly that. Let me see. Processed critical minerals and derivative products. That's what that stands for. Okay. I'm learning all this stuff as I go too, and this is why I'm giving you all this information. Okay. Lacks access to sufficiency, secure, and reliability supply chain to PCMDPs. It is experiencing unsustainable price volatility with respect to critical mineral markets and is suffering from the weakened domestic manufacturing and production capacity of PCMDPs. The secretary found that these circumstances are a significant national security vulnerability that could be exploited by foreign actors, weaken the industrial resilience of the United States, expose the American people to supply chain disruptions, economic instability, and strategic vulnerabilities, and jeopardize the United States ability to meet demands for PCMDPs that are essential to its national defense and critical infrastructure. This is why I say this is my opinion, but they are literally telling us we are in a bad position economically. We need to restructure our infrastructure economically so that our economy is thriving and we are doing good as a society for our country. Are y'all keeping up with me? I hope y'all are. Okay? And I gotta go. So I have all the pictures here. Okay, I got the charts. Everything's looking good. Please, folks. Please. Do your own research. Okay? I am just giving y'all, I'm a side of education to help y'all. Okay? I did the digging. Here it is. You want to do some of the digging on your own? Learn how to research, learn what questions to ask. This is how we go about it. Okay? But now y'all see exactly why I invested, why I'm going so big on the picks and shovels, uranium companies, electric companies, because we have a big problem to solve, and we cannot solve it with our normal infrastructure that we have built on our electric system, because it's only meant for human consumption. Now we have AI. We have a whole nother entity that we have to provide for, that will help us provide. Whether you like it or not, AI is right here. You just can't see it. It's like air right now. Information is flying back and forth. I got Joy right here from Blade Runner. And she right here. I see you, baby. I do. Probably the only love I'll ever actually get. All right, these are jokes. Go watch Blade Runner, all right? Relax, y'all. I'm not going crazy. Maybe I am. Maybe I am crazy. Look, that's pretty much it, all right? This video ended up being, I do not know. Like I said, if it was going to be a 10-minute video or a 36-minute video. Close to 40, all right? I know myself too well, okay? With that being said, y'all, please. My battery's died on my laptop. Let's just close this. I got to go to work. That's my take on this. That's my bias. So you beautiful people have a good day. Listen to this video 2-3 times, okay? Really have this information. Download it. Really dissect it. Really stop it. Rewind it. Do whatever you got to do, okay? This is part of research. This helps you be more confident in your investments, okay? Go look at these sites. Go look at these resources. Do the own information. Download it. Recite it. Repetition is the father of learning. Wheezy, baby. Okay? Shout out to Wheezy on that one. Repetition is the father of learning. Read it and read it and read it. Don't understand it? Read it again in a different format. Read it until you can explain it to a 3-year-old. If you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, sorry. If you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, you don't know what you're talking about. I can tell you right now, the charger that charges your iPad, if we don't have enough of that, you can't watch CoComelon, baby. So we need electricity. We need more power. Okay? And that's what we're trying to find. Find the solution for that. So, y'all have a good day, man. Stay posted in the Discord. Y'all stay blessed. God bless y'all. I've been more focused on work. I need to go back to more of the training side, but I'm going to get back to y'all on that, all right? But other than that, y'all be safe. God bless. And hit me up, y'all had any more questions, all right? So, adios, amigos. Peace.